Chest.
The water in the lake was as high as my chest.
That wrestler has a broad chest. She went to the doctor complaining of chest pains.
He had chronic pain in his chest and needed to see a doctor.
Patients reported pain in the lower chest or upper abdomen.
Chest.
Consequence.
The consequence is so bad.
Of course, this has had unintended consequences.
Not making a will can have serious consequences for the people you might wish to benefit.
The consequences may cause fatal diseases.
He lost their jobs as a direct consequence of the incompetence.
Consequence. Disaster.
This is one of the worst natural disasters ever to befall the area.
He is the one who was responsible for the disaster.
The president visited the region in the immediate aftermath of the disaster.
Coming disaster is threatening farmers' crops.
Disaster.
Disturb.
The loud noise disturbed me while I was working.
She was disturbing about this year's sales. The computer count and the physical count were disturbingly incongruous, which distressed the store manager.
It just really disturbed me.
Tourists often disturb the delicate balance of nature on the island. Disturb.
Estimate.
The boy estimated that he was 1 meter tall.
The difference between the two estimates is marginal.
It is estimated that men account for 1% of the luxury cosmetics market.
We estimated that it would cost about £5,000. State forestry officials estimate about 80% of the 800,000 acres of wetland forest in the state is privately owned.
Estimate.
Honor.
I honor my science teacher by working hard in class.
They are holding a ceremony in honor of those killed in the explosion.
He has been honored with the Nobel Prize for his scientific work. Proving his innocence has become a matter of honor.
He was awarded an honorary doctorate.
Honor. Marathon.
That is a 36 hours marathon.
Life is a marathon, not a sprint.
John McDermott won the marathon.
Alan trained for a marathon.
You cannot sprint a marathon.
Marathon.
Narrow.
The bridge is too narrow for a car to drive over.
It is essentially a narrow and conservative approach to child care.
Do you think the margins are too wide or narrow?
You should narrow the amount of food you eat daily down, if you don't want to be obese.
She narrowly escaped injury.
Narrow.
Pale.
She has pale blue eyes.
You look pale. Are you okay?
The plan envisaged the creation of an independent Palestinian state. The dominant life forms of the Paleozoic era lived in the water.
The sky was a pale translucent blue.
Pale.
Rough.
The rough ground hurt my feet.
The average adult has a blood volume of roughly 5 liters, composed of plasma in several kinds of cells.
And my younger brother and I had a really rough time.
I'm always seasick if the sea is rough.
Rough. Impress.
He was able to impress the girls with his new dance. The games really became a festival that impressed sports enthusiasts.
Yes, I've read your resume. Very impressive.
The stylistic innovation in painting known as Impressionism.
I was very impressive with cherry blossom season in Japan.
Impress.
Scream.
A spider landed on her pillow and she screamed.
That's why I yell and scream.
Children often scream before their piano practice.
Because he didn't get what he wanted, he screamed blue murder. He is screaming loudly sound that hit the ground.
Scream.
Sensitive.
My teeth are sensitive to cold things.
The eyes of some fish are acutely sensitive to light.
Her reply showed that she was very sensitive to criticism.
This is a politically sensitive issue. My teeth are sensitive to cold things.
Sensitive.
Shade.
He lies under the shade of coconut.
We sat down in the shade of the wall.
He lies under the shade of coconut.
Cherry blossoms have colors in varying shades of white, pink, and red.
The sun was hot, and there were no trees to offer us shade.
Shade.
Supplement.
He supplements his diet with fresh fruits. Here is a supplement to the newspaper.
It is an ideal supplement to listening activity.
We also have a color magazine, a color supplement.
Supplement. Terror.
I felt a sense of terror when the tiger chased me.
The police suspect that a man is a member of a terrorist organization.
That terrorist is considered public enemy number 1.
The objective of an in terrorem clause is to restrict a bequest made in a will.
One American was killed and 3 were wounded in terrorist attacks.
Terror.
Victim.
Women and girls are the main victims.
A psychosis is any mental illness, which is liable to render its victim non-compos mentis.
He responds to the loss of male entitlement, with righteous indignation, or he feels like an innocent victim.
First, check that the accident victim doesn't have an obstructed airway. After the victim starts natural breathing, the artificial respiration should be stopped.
Victim.
Threat.
There is a real threat of war.
They threaten us with violence.
They felt threatened when they saw the robber with a knife. They're threatening to down tools.
The reckless driver posed a threat to everyone else on the road.